video, I'm going to start off by doing some book triggers, like book gripping, tracing, and tapping. And I have a couple different books that we're going to be doing those on, and then after we're done with that, I'm going to read from one of the books. I have 3 different books. I have Call Me By Your Name. And guys, I love Timothy Chalamet, so yeah. If you haven't watched the movie, you should go watch it. Shatter Me, which I haven't read yet, but I love dystopian books and I've heard that it's good. And Twilight, I haven't read the book, but I love the movies, and I found this at a secondhand store for like $2, so I just thought it was a great time to buy it. Is written by Stephanie Myers. I'm gonna read the back of it. About 3 things I was absolutely positive. First, Edward was a vampire. Second, there was part of him, and I didn't know how dominant that part might be, that thirsted for my blood. And third, I was unconditionally and irrevocably in love with him. And there is 4 Twilight books. The first one, which is Twilight, A New Moon, Eclipse, and Breaking Dawn. And I'm Team Edward, so yeah, I thought I'd put that out there. pronounce her name right, so I'm not going to, but I'll spell it out. Daherehma. Sorry. F-I. No one knows why Juliet's touch is fatal, but the re-establishment has plans for her, plans to use her as a weapon. But Juliet has plans of her own. After a lifetime without freedom, she's finally discovering a strength to fight back for the very first time, and to find a future with the one boy she thought she lost forever. In the electrifying first book in the Shatter Me series, Dystopian presents a riveting dystopian world, a thrilling superhero story, and an unforgettable heroine. It is a New York Times bestseller, now a major motion picture from the Sony Pictures Classics, starring Armie Hammer and Timothy Chalamet, and it is written by Andre Aciman. An instant classic and one of the great love stories of our time, Call Me By Your Name is the story of a sudden and powerful romance that blossoms between an adolescent boy and a summer guest at his parents' cliffside mansion on the Italian Riviera. Each is unprepared for the consequences of their attraction when, during the restless summer weeks, unrelenting currents of obsession, fascination, and desire intensify their passion and test the charged ground between them. Recklessly, the two verge towards the one thing both fear they may truly never find again: total intimacy. later to say goodbye before. It sounded harsh, curt, and dismissive, spoken with the field and difference of people who may not care to see or hear from you again. It is the first thing I remember about him, and I can hear it still today. Later, I shut my eyes, say the word, and I'm back in Italy. So many years ago, walking down the tree-lined driveway, watching him step out of the cab, billowy blue shirt, wide open collar, sun, glasses, straw hat, skin everywhere. Suddenly he's shaking my hand, handing me his backpack, removing his suitcase from the trunk of the cab, asking if my father is home. It might have started right there and then. The shirt, the rolled up sleeves, the rounded balls of his heels slipping in and out of his frayed espadrilles, eager to test the hot gravel path that led to our house, every stride already asking which way to the beach. The summer's house guest, another bore, then almost without thinking, and with his back already turned to the car, he waves the back of his free hand and utters a careless later to another passenger in the car, who was probably split the fare from the station. No name added, no jest to smooth out the ruffled leave taking. Nothing. His one word send off, brisk, bold, and blunted. Take your pick. He couldn't be bothered which. You watch. I thought, this is how you'll say goodbye to us when the time comes, with a gruff slapdash later. Meanwhile, we'd have to put up with him for 6 long weeks. I was thoroughly intimidated, the unapproachable sort. I could grow to like him, though, from rounded chin to rounded heel. Then, within days, I would learn to hate him. This, the very person whose photo on the application 4 months earlier had leapt out with promises of instant affinities. Taking in summer guest was my parents' way of helping young academics revise a manuscript before publication. For 6 weeks, each summer I'd have to vacate my bedroom and move one room down the corridor to a much smaller room that had once belonged to my grandfather. During the winter months when we were away in the city, it became a part-time dual shed, storage room, and attic, where rumor had it my grandfather, my namesake, still ground his teeth in his eternal sleep. Summer residents didn't have to pay anything, were given the full run of the house, and could basically do anything they pleased, provided they spent an hour or so a day helping my father with his correspondence and assorted paperwork. They became part of the family, and about 15 years of doing this, we had gotten used to a shower of postcards and gift packages, not only around Christmas time, but all year long, from people who were now totally devoted to our family and would go out of their way when they were in Europe to drop by for a day or two with their family and take a nostalgic tour of their old digs. At meals there were frequently 2 or 3 other guests, sometimes neighbors or relatives, sometimes colleagues, lawyers, doctors, the rich and famous who dropped by to see my father on their way to their own summer houses. Sometimes we'd even open our dining room to the occasional tourist couple who'd heard of the old villa and simply wanted to come by and take a peek, and were totally enchanted when asked to eat with us and tell us all about themselves. Well, Mafalda, informed at the last minute, dished out her usual fare. My father, who was reserved and shy and private, loved nothing better than to have some precious rising expert in the field keep the conversation going in a few languages, while the hot summer sun, after a few glasses of Rosatello, ushered in the unavoidable afternoon torpor. We named the task dinner drudgery, and after a while so did most of our 6-week guests. Maybe it started soon after his arrival during one of those grinding lunches when he sat next to me, and it finally dawned on me that despite a light tan acquired during his brief stay in Sicily earlier that summer, the color on the palms of his hands was the same as the pale soft skin of his soles, of his throat, of the bottom of his forearms, which hadn't really been exposed to much sun. Almost a light pink, as glistening and smooth as the underside of a lizard's belly, private, just, unfledged, like a blush on an athlete's face, or an instant of dawn on a stormy night. It told me things about him I never knew to ask. It may have started during those endless hours after lunch when everybody lounged about in bathing suits inside and outside the house. Bodies sprawled everywhere, killing time before someone finally suggested we head down to the rocks for a swim. Relatives, cousins, neighbors, friends of friends, colleagues, or just about anyone who cared to knock at our gate and asked if they could use our tennis court. Everyone was welcome to lounge and swim and eat, and if they stayed long enough, use the guest house. Or perhaps it started on the beach, or at the tennis court, or during our first walk together. On his very first day, when I was asked to show him the house and its surrounding area, and one thing leading to the other, managed to take him past the very old forged iron metal gate as far back as the endless empty lot in the hinterland, toward the abandoned train tracks that used to connect Beat and... Is there an abandoned train station house somewhere? He asked, looking through the trees under the scalding sun, probably trying to ask the right question of the owner's son. No, there was never a station house. The train simply stopped when you asked. He was curious about the train. The rails seemed so narrow. It was a 2-wagon train bearing the royal insignia. I explained. Gypsies lived in it now. They'd been living there ever since my mother used to summer here as a girl. The gypsies had hauled the 2 derailed cars farther inland. Did he want to see them? Later, maybe. Polite indifference, as if he'd spotted my misplaced zeal to play up to him, and was summarily pushed me away. But it stung me instead, he said. He wanted to open an account in one of the banks in B, then pay a visit to his Italian translator, whom his Italian publisher had engaged for his book. I decided to take him there by bike. The conversation was no better on wheels than on foot. Along the way we stopped for something to drink. The bar was totally dark and empty. The owner was mopping the floor with a powerful ammonia solution. We stepped outside as soon as we could, A lonely black bird sitting in a Mediterranean pine sang a few notes that were immediately drowned out by the rattle of cicadas. I took a long swill from a large bottle of mineral water, passed it to him, then drank from it again. I spilled some on my hand and rubbed my face with it, running my wet fingers through my hair. The water was insufficiently cold, not fizzy enough, leaving behind an unslaked likeness of thirst. What did no one do around here? Nothing. Wait for summer to end? What did one do in the winter then? I smiled at the answer I was about to give. He got the gist and said, "Don't tell me. Wait for summer to come, right?" I liked having my mind read. He picked up on a dinner drudgery sooner than those before him. Actually, in the winter the place gets very grey and dark. We come for Christmas, otherwise it's a ghost town. And what else do you do here at Christmas, beside roast chestnuts and drink eggnog? He was teasing. I offered the same smile as before. He understood, said nothing. We laughed. He asked what I did. I played tennis, swam, went out at night, jogged, transcribed music, read. He said he jogged too, early in the morning. Where did one jog around here? Along the promenade? Mostly. I could show him if he wanted. It hit me in the face, just when I was starting to like him again. Later, maybe. I had put reading last on my list, thinking that with the willful, brazen attitude he displayed so far, reading would figure last on his. Okay, that's all I'm going to read, because my mouth is really dry and I keep messing up words. So, that is all for this video, and if you enjoyed, like and subscribe to see more ASMR